So it's been a hell of a run, y'all. For real. I've covered so much in 13 episodes. Your feedback has been priceless. You'll see it reflected in this upcoming series. And I even tried to apply some of it as I was going through this one, as far as series content and what will be presented next. But I'm getting a lot of feedback too, asking me, hey, it's 2021. 2021's coming. What can we look forward to seeing? And I kind of feel like it's been a clusterfuck. 2020 has been hell on wheels, as I've said before. And I know for me personally, I have to keep a reminder that, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And for some reason, 2020 felt like it was a precipice that's going to dictate like the next 10 years. And don't ask me where I come up with that, but it just feels like it's a real defining moment. And what we do now, even though it's always counted toward what will end up happening later, it's just more critical than ever that we make sure that we're aligning based on our understanding, not what we think the political gods are going to grace us with. That's praying for that lottery ticket and never playing a lottery, you know, and really applying what we understand it to be. I find it interesting because I feel like tribulation really dictates somebody's character, and that's when you see what people are made out of. Because if I was a stripper, or I was a hustler, or I was a promoter, in any capacity in any of those things, and times get treacherous, content creator, that's what I'm gonna divert and go back to because that's what I understand. Like that's part of my foundation. That's why it's critical that you set a strong foundation for yourself. You have a blueprint to go back to. But yeah, for me, it's gonna be budget. Uh, Redefining budgeting. I've probably been spending like 7 years, and this is not some a service that I sell or anything like that. Um, but just from my applied understanding, you know, careful budgeting, discipline. It's interesting how, at the end of each year, when it's a new year, people are like, oh, I'm going to do this, and I have all these goals, and I have, what they call them, resolutions, New Year's resolution, all these things. And it doesn't take a new venue or a new calendar year or a new date for me to implement something that's going to better my life. It's called continuous process improvement. And you should have that commitment to your brand, to yourself. It doesn't take a new year to do that. And usually, if we're setting these goals based on dates and all this other stuff, those that have already began, we're just behind because by the time you start, the person with the foresight is usually tweaking and improving because they've already began and they found the glitches in what their initial goal and thought process was. So you want to never kind of like use that as your reasoning to start anew or be fresh. Bad habits, whatever it is, kick it. Kick it immediately and just do it. And that's if you're committed. Gotta be honest with yourself. People set goals and have vision for me all the time. And I'd be like, no, that's not it. Or that might be it, and I'm just not there yet. That too. So I gotta be honest with myself. I don't disappoint myself. Because if you keep losing, it beat down it beats down your energy and your inspiration overall. I know that the most frequently asked question that I've got about the Chronicles is like why and where is this coming from? And even people that are close to me are like curious, like wow, I didn't realize all that go into your thought process. But it makes sense to them, you know? But for me, the Chronicles was inspired out of, the pain of loss. I lost somebody close to me, close. And I feel like I failed in that I didn't exert myself enough to make sure that my understanding and the information that I knew got to them. So that's what caused me to re-examine, even through my pain, how can I broadly spread my understanding to others in a way that I felt, you know? How can I broadly spread my understanding? How can I consistently do it? And how can I open up the floor for questions so people can apply it? It's a hope that the Chronicles or some segment thereof will be something that helps you or helps you in a capacity to help someone else. Yeah, because that pain of loss, it doesn't get better. It presents well, but it etches away at you and you feel a responsibility. Like, what could I have done more of? What energy did I not put in that I should have maybe? I know for me personally, I have a very strong personality. So I know that I try not to exert myself onto others because I don't want to chase people away because I know that everybody is just not going to be able to swallow. And I know my understanding, I'm not willing to always give a full explanation of my understanding. I'll be like, this what it is. Ooh, take it run with it or not. And I'll leave it at that. And sometimes there's going to need to be some background information given so that people understand the depth of what I'm saying. Like, no, I'm not telling you from a space of, yeah, this is something that happened to me once or three times even. It could be something that I saw play out for somebody else. Staying core, true to yourself, and aligning your goals and your resolutions with that and with your understanding and where you'd like to get to. And then making sure you're coordinating with people that are like minded. It doesn't matter what I have in place in my mind if I'm aligning with people that just don't see the vision or they're building their vision based around mine. No, you gotta have your own vision and be executing, and then we figure out how to operate in tandem. But examine it. And when I say budget, I'm talking about my emotional budget and my financial budget. Because the emotional budget of what I'm willing to contribute or be a part of, limited, limited. And just disciplining myself to the exercise. These things are in place for a reason. And I don't need a 25-year-old example. One that I got 25 years ago that I didn't forgot about. It was a long time ago. I don't need to do that shit again. Nope. Don't take it with you into 2021. Leave that shit here. Because I promise you, it'll be a whole fresh new set of lessons for 2021. You're going to have plenty of opportunities to apply your understanding. Doesn't need, a new calendar year to be applied. And that can even mean, you still loving someone. People don't understand that the disconnect or anything like that takes away from the love. Your love can still be strong as ever. But in a certain capacity, I can't interact with this person in that way. That you got to figure out what capacity works for you, that you can function, apply your understanding, apply your experiences, apply what you've gained as wisdom from watching others' experiences play out, and act accordingly. Save yourself a lot of time. A lot of time. In my bio, you'll find my email. Make sure you use it. Make sure you tap in, get those comments cracking, because you gotta have that sort of interaction where you may save someone else a bunch of stuff because you ask a question that 10 people are thinking but nobody asks. You see, and it's a contributing factor. This is not a platform to like make people feel bad. If I want to make people feel like shit and question their lives and all this other stuff, it's just to help you recalibrate, do it faster. If you don't have nobody in your life to talk to you in this way, being a voice of reason is there's a liberty that comes with it because I have a broader understanding, but there's also a responsibility. I'm responsible to make sure that the understanding gets out to the people. And it may be in a way that you guys aren't receiving it. Because I see the catalog of what's available online. I don't see that type of content being dispersed. And like I said in one of my initial episodes, everything is not something that can be covered in blips, stories, memes, pictures. It doesn't, it's not all inclusive. So you kind of gotta seek out your own content. You can gain an understanding. I'm excited for the next series. I'm excited because the feedback that I'm getting, you guys have to keep giving me that feedback so I can curate and tailor it to your needs. It I'm getting the views. People are seeing it. You guys are asking really good questions. And it may be things that in my mind I'm like, oh, that seemed clear. And I have to just retweak it and do it again. But this is 2021. We're already here. It's already began. Come up with a plan and stick to it and keep tweaking and refining, and you'll realize that you're further along than the person who never started. Share some of your resolutions. Share some of your goals. For me, it's the budget on my emotional and my financial that is under construction and redisciplining myself. Tap in and look forward to the new postings here shortly. You guys stay alert.